Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Scott Hall passes away at age 63. After being taken off life support yesterday, family of Scott Hall has confirmed that the wrestling legend and longtime WCW and WWE star has passed away at the age of 63. Scott Hall was put on life support on Sunday following complications from a recent hip surgery that led him to suffering several heart attacks due to a blood clot. WWE opened last night's Raw broadcast with a graphic in memory of the bad guy. They also tweeted the announcement on Hall's passing, quote, WWE is saddened to learn that two-time WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall has passed away. WWE extends its condolences to Hall's family, friends, and fans. They wrote about the man also known as Razor Ramon. On this week's Raw, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and others found subtle ways to pay homage to the late memory of WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall. Owens began the show by using Hall's "Hey Yo" catchphrase before referring to himself as the happiest Canadian of all time because he's going to interview WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38. Later on in the show, Owens made reference to the iconic closing line from Hall's WWE Hall of Fame speech in 2014. While consoling a demoralized Seth Rollins in a backstage segment, Owens told Rollins, quote, "Tough times don't last, but tough guys do." Hall had closed his Hall of Fame speech with the phrase, quote, "Hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but bad guys do." Finally, during his main event bout versus Rollins, Owens used the fall-away slam to send Rollins crashing into the barricade. The fall-away slam was one of the signature moves in Scott Hall's in-ring repertoire. Meanwhile, Priest did the signature Razor Ramon walk ahead of his match with Finn Balor. He would later hit the Razor's Edge on his opponent. Balor himself threw up the Too Sweet hand gesture, which was made popular by Hall and the NWO faction. According to some fans, Rhea Ripley and Seth Rollins did Hall's signature Spooky Fingers taunt at different points of the show. WWE also aired a tribute package honoring Scott Hall's memory, which can be seen on social media, along with the several bad guy references during Raw. Edge's new WWE theme song from Alter Bridge revealed. WWE Hall of Famer Edge has debuted a new theme song for the road to WrestleMania 38. The Rated R superstar came out to a new theme on last night's Raw, where he delivered another dark promo on AJ Styles ahead of their WrestleMania 38 bout. The theme change has been one of the hottest topics coming out of this week's Raw from Jacksonville, Florida. Edge's new theme song is The Other Side by Alter Bridge. His previous theme, which was one of WWE's most popular, is Metalingus by Alter Bridge also. The song is also one of Alter Bridge's most popular songs to never be released as a single. As can be seen on social media, the official Alter Bridge Twitter account posted a YouTube clip of Edge's entrance and captioned it with one of his quotes, quote, "You think you know me, you never did." Metalingus is from Alter Bridge's One Day Remains album released in 2004. The Other Side is from Alter Bridge's The Last Hero album released in 2016. There's some speculation on Edge switching back to a Metalingus song after WrestleMania 38, with the idea that this new theme is for his darker character for the Styles feud, but that has not been confirmed. Speaking of AJ Styles, he will be returning to WWE Raw on next week's show. Styles has not been on Raw since WWE Hall of Famer Edge snapped on him and turned heel 2 weeks ago, hitting him with a low blow and a steel chair shots to the head. WWE later issued a storyline injury update and announced that AJ suffered a severe neck contusion in the attack. Edge returned to Raw last night for another dark promo, which comes after last week's dark promo, and talked about how he is better than everyone in the industry, and how the Edge that returned 2 years ago is dead. He added that the Edge he returned as was a much weaker Edge because he was worried about appeasing the fans. Edge finished his promo by promising to judge AJ if he makes it to WrestleMania 38. AJ took to Twitter after Raw and issued a warning to Edge, revealing that he will be back on next week's Raw from the Allstate Arena near Chicago. Quote, "Exercise judgment, grant mercy, sitting on a mountain of omnipotence. I don't know where you got this garbage, but one thing I will grant you is fair warning. I'm coming back to Raw next week and you better prepare yourself. Stupid haircut, dramatic lighting, and all," AJ wrote. WWE has not announced any additional matches or segments for next week's Raw, but we will keep you updated. Several Cody Rhodes hints during Seth Rollins' match on WWE Raw. soon after Seth Rollins lost to Kevin Owens in the main event of this week's Raw, announcer Corey Graves would drop several Cody Rhodes hints. Graves mentioned how Rollins' WrestleMania hopes had been, quote, dashed, and, quote, his dream has become a nightmare. For those who missed Raw, Rollins set up a match with his friend Kevin Owens, with the stipulation being that if he won, he'd replace Owens in the segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38. Since Owen prevailed with the victory, his KO show segment with Austin will go ahead as planned. As reported earlier, Cody Rhodes vs Seth Rollins is rumored to take place at WrestleMania 38. Earlier on Monday, Dave Meltzer reported that the match is still listed internally for next month's event. Meltzer's latest update came a week after he reported that Rhodes' WWE situation was, quote, back up in the air, with WWE Creative being asked to hold off on plans until Rhodes signs a WWE contract. Since Monday's Raw was held in Jacksonville, the home of AEW, there had been a lot of speculation of Cody Rhodes returning to WWE television this week. With WrestleMania 38 less than 3 weeks away, Seth Rollins is still without a match at the Showcase of the Immortals. WWE reportedly considering name change for Raw superstar. Elias could be returning to WWE television with a brand new name and gimmick, according to Fightful Select. The report noted that new vignettes have been filmed for Elias, and tentative plans are for him to remain on the Raw brand. It was also noted that a name change has been pitched. Recently, another report noted that Elias was in, quote, creative purgatory, and that his name hadn't come up in creative meetings for a long time. Last August, multiple vignettes aired on Raw that hinted at Elias killing off his drifter/musician character. The final vignette aired on August 23rd, which was the last time Elias was seen on WWE television. In December, WrestleVotes reported that WWE had no end plan with the vignettes, and they were shot only to kill off his music gimmick. It was also noted that he was given new gear as part of his rebranding, but Vince McMahon scrapped the look because he felt Elias resembled WWE Hall of Famer Macho Man Randy Savage. The next look also appeared in the WWE 2K graphic last year, from which photos can be seen on social media. Elias has not wrestled since his Symphony of Destruction match loss to Jackson Riker on the July 19 edition of Monday Night Raw. With WrestleMania 38 less than 3 weeks away, it's unlikely for Elias to return to WWE television in the lead up to the event. WWE typically saves re-debuts and debuts for the Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania. The Miz headed to WWE NXT 2.0. The Miz is headed to WWE NXT 2.0. WWE has announced that Tuesday's NXT 2.0 episode will feature a special edition of Miz TV. The Miz will welcome new NXT champion Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode as his guests. The Dirty Dogs will be celebrating Ziggler's NXT title victory over Bron Breakker in last week's NXT Roadblock main event, which also featured Tommaso Ciampa. As can be seen on social media, Ziggler retweeted WWE's graphic for the Miz TV segment and added a photo of NXT-era Robert Roode. It's believed that the main event for NXT Stand and Deliver will be confirmed this week, rumored to be Breakker vs Ziggler for the title. WWE announces new WrestleMania 38 title match. The Street Profits vs Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro is now official for WrestleMania 38. Randy Orton and Riddle hosted their championship celebration on last night's Raw to celebrate last week's title victory, but they were interrupted by Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Ford and Dawkins issued a challenge for WrestleMania, and it was accepted. It's possible that the former champions, Alpha Academy, will be added to the WrestleMania match to make it a triple threat. Last night's Raw featured Riddle vs Ford in singles action, but Otis and Chad Gable attacked and took out both teams. Ford and Dawkins previously defeated Orton and Riddle during the February 28 Raw before they became the Raw Tag Team Champions. WWE has not announced which night of WrestleMania 38 will feature the Profits vs RK Bro, but it's expected for WrestleMania Sunday because the WrestleMania Saturday show will feature Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Usos. WrestleMania 38 will take place on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.